But digressing, obviously, damn. Salute to the UFC. Moody's reports UFC's holding LSE made well over $700 million last year. Definitely go check out this article by John Nash at Bloody Elbow. First off, just a great writer, a great guy for covering this type of stuff. Him and Paul Gift do a great job. Around 180 million of this came from Mayweather-McGregor, according to this report. One of their best years to date, if not their best year to date. Just shocking, because I don't think anyone expected that with the year they had on pay-per-view and just what it seemed like. But hell, they made the bag, man. So shout out to the UFC. Go read the article though, because there's a lot of information about what money how much they're in debt, what loans they've taken out for how much. It's just weird. Not weird. It's just interesting, I should say. The money breakdown with what is happening in the UFC, and for somebody that's not really deep into the financial sense of it, and I don't understand Wall Street on the deepest level. Obviously, I'm not in Wall Street. I'm in media. Fascinating. Just a fascinating article to read. Go check it out. And salute to the UFC. They're still making the bag and paying their fighters, less than 15% of the revenue split? Maybe. Yeah, shout out to them. Shout out to Project Spearhead, Leslie Smith, and all those fine people over there trying to get that done. Hashtag unionization. Another piece of not sad news. Piggybacking off the Johnny Hendricks retirement. Another sort of stalwart of the welterweight division for that era. Josh Koscheck announcing his retirement, his official retirement. Yes, thank you, Josh Koscheck. We will never forget the Ultimate Fighter Season 1, which he became famous off of. And even the one with GSP. Underrated season, by the way. Just saying. Put on some decent fights, put on some bad fights, put on some good fights. And also a little piece of, MMA history. The whole AKA banning by Dana White in 2007, 2008 maybe, over the UFC's video game rights for THQ back in the day. Josh Koscheck, John Fitch refused to do it because they were not getting any money off of it, right? And Dana White famously said, we're firing all AKA fighters, which is the gym they trained at, which was at that time one of the mega gyms of the sport, and still is, obviously, but especially back then, it was prime. John Fitch and Josh Koscheck were two top 10 welterweights at the time, and it was big, and it was Josh Koscheck and John Fitch saying, nope, you got to pay us, and it's just a little interesting piece of MMA history. You can go check that out. You can probably find it easily. Just type in AKA versus Dana or something like that. You can easily find it probably. But just salute to Josh Koscheck, man. One of those guys who's probably not a Hall of Famer in the sense. He might get it off of I could see him just inducting everyone from the first season of The Ultimate Fighter because of how foundational that was to the UFC's growth. But he's definitely one of those guys that just was a good fighter. Always a perennial top 10 guy. Was a skilled wrestler, a good boxer, puncher. Somebody that, was respectable throughout his career. So salute to Josh Koscheck, as always, even though he was always kind of an asshole. Speaking of assholes, Tito Ortiz. I don't know what he's thinking here, guys. Tito Ortiz hoping for 500,000 pay-per-view buys for a trilogy fight with Chuck Liddell.
You fucking crazy, man. You sound insane. Do you realize that? You should be medicated.
Tito Ortiz should be medicated. That is absolutely true. The idea that he thinks that in today's age, in 2018, that a trilogy fight with Chuck Liddell, off of how many years Chuck Liddell's been retired? 5, 6, 7, 8? Fuck, a while, hasn't it? For them to do 500,000 pay-per-view buys promoted by Oscar De La Hoya And get this. This is the craziest part right here. Okay? So, what do you say? He said, we're both partners. De La Hoya wants his 40%, and me and Chuck Liddell get to split 30%. Yo, that is hilarious. Yo, Oscar's coming in here and cleaning them out, man. Oscar's coming in here taking his 40%, and Tito and Chuck have to split 30%? No, he must mean they both get 30%, right? But even then, doubtful, because if it's pay-per-view, the pay-per-view companies get a portion of it. So I don't know. It's just fascinating, man. I don't know what they're fucking doing, man. It's salute to Tito Ortiz and Chuck Liddell for trying to get a bag at this age. And shout out to Oscar De La Hoya, man. Just being a ruthless promoter, getting that 40%, man. Salute to him. Igloo saying, LOL, Oscar makes more than both fighters combined. What a joke. It is. Like, it's just, I don't even know what to make of that, man. That is absolutely crazy. Definitely something that was unexpected, to say the least. But speaking from yesterday, or piggybacking off of yesterday, Easy saying, Matt, is PPV on that Wilder payroll? No, they aren't. Trust me. We all wish we were on someone's payroll, man. Trust me. Media does not make money in this industry. We make very little to produce a lot of content for all of you guys. When are you gonna set up Skype? That's what Easy is asking me in the chat. It's gonna be soon. It's gonna be whenever I get some new equipment and we're close to that monetary goal. Again, patreon.com/Mixed Combat Radio. And also Cash App, Mixed Combat Radio, if you want to, support the show. Igloo saying I think he needs like $500 to get this equipment. It's around $500 on the top end. I can probably do it with like $400. But it's $500 would be, I can do it absolutely. But anyways, just picking it back off of the Justin Gaethje James Vick fight that was made. Well, Paul Felder was left without opponent. Mike Perry's opponent fell out, so they was like, fuck it, Mike Perry versus Paul Felder, targeted for UFC 226. Fantastic matchup between two really good strikers. I mean, Paul Felder's probably way more technical, but should be fun. And Mike Perry, man, he's not going to end well with his career. First off, he's just an idiot. Secondly, he is extremely basic, does not have the cardio. Paul Felder has some diversity to his game. I definitely think Paul Felder should come in here, sort of piece him up, and get a late finish. But fantastic fight that I cannot wait to see, in the cage. It's going to be one of those that's going to be bloody. It's going to be fun, exciting. A great prelim to that pay-per-view card. And just salute to that fight game made, from what the UFC did in the past 24 hours, 48 hours, with 3 fighters falling out. They made 2 good matchups off of it. James Vick versus Justin Gaethje is a fantastic fight. And Paul Felder versus Mike Perry, fantastic fight. I am Curtis in the chat saying Michael Johnson versus Andre Fili was announced yesterday. I did not see that, but salute to that, because that's a good fight. That's a really good fight. Andre Fili might be a little bit in over his head right there, but Michael Johnson has been on a downward slide, so to speak. Unfortunately. Easy saying, what about Bellator's welterweight tournament? I covered that, I believe, on Monday or Tuesday. Check all the show descriptions; it's right there, and you can find that out. He said, "Can you see MVP winning?" Can I see it? Yes. It's a low possibility, though, or probability. I mean, if you're giving a percentage to all these guys, all 8 of them, and who can win, I mean, Rory McDonald has to be at the top. And then what? Douglas Lima? Lorenz Larkin, maybe, if they get him in it? And then you've got a little bit of ways, and then you have a Michael Venom Page, in my opinion. But he's the dark horse. That is one thing where he might have a higher ceiling than the guys I just mentioned, but we don't know it. We haven't seen it yet. So it's one of those where I can't judge if MVP is going to win that right now. We need to see him fight a real guy yet. He hasn't fought anyone that's legit top 10, top 15 fighter in the world yet, in boxing or in MMA. You know, a great point kickboxing career does not exactly translate into being a guy that can win this tournament with the guys that are in this tournament. But yes, Santiago in the chat. What up, Santi? Saying, can't wait for tonight's event. Yes, Rashidi Ellis, I believe, is fighting tonight. Always a fantastic fighter to watch. Plus, that was a great little face-off weigh-in that they had. And also just one that was good. I mean, Rashidi Ellis is a guy that I believe has a really high ceiling that doesn't get talked about. I think he's sort of forgotten about due to his promotional ties. But definitely someone that I want to see. I want to see fight some top competitors soon. I think we're going to see a really emphatic knockout win for Rashidi Ellis. And it should be a fun card. I'm probably going to do a live fight chat tonight for that main event with a little tiny immediate reaction to that as well. So just stay posted on all information. But I believe that is it. Let me check very fast. Any more news that broke while we were on air? Nope, no news that broke on air. Apparently that is it, ladies and gentlemen. End of the show. Make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe. Go to patreon.com/Mixed Combat Radio. We are currently on iTunes, SoundCloud, Podcast Addict, Spreaker. What else? Obviously YouTube, which you're listening to right now. And we're soon to be. Might take a couple weeks. Might take like a month or two. Not a month or two. Like a month maybe. Due to the process. But soon to be on Spotify and soon to be on iHeartRadio. So tune in for that as well. Make sure you check that out. Been a good show. Shout out to Boxing and Blunts. Great name. Santiago, Easy E. I am Curtis, Igloo. I'm not going to try to pronounce your name, sir. Mr. I think it's French. To say Le Vertre. Sure. That's my attempt. DFW Boxing is back. Curtis Cooper, what is up? Georgie Porgy. Fighter IQ Ron, definitely go check out his channel. Benjamin Franklin. Bunch of people in here. Robitsky, Potential Lunatic. Sam Spencer. What up, everyone? Good to have you here. Another edition. Be back, obviously, tomorrow for some live fight chats. Sunday is our Patreon-only show. The first one. It's going to be called Championship Rounds. Go check that out on patreon.com/Mixed Combat Radio. There's a topic and question post, which you can guarantee that your topic and questions answered on that show. And you can put a topic question on that post without being on Patreon, by the way. Just saying. But you can follow me on all these platforms right here below. Email me if you want to be a part of the movement. #MCR Podcast. But yeah, deuces. Have a good day.